The Last of Us Part 2 has a ton of awesome features already available at the launch of the game, and some unlock after you finish the main story and some are already there from the start. So I want to go over all these features in this spoiler-free video so you get a better idea of what is all possible and what the replayability really is. So a like on the video would be super appreciated. And let's go. Just like in the previous Naughty Dog games, there's an extra step where you can unlock concept art for points. I won't show you a lot for spoiler reasons, but you can for example expect concept art from Jackson with the massive snowfall that is also covering the many buildings. And yeah, the always scary clickers are here with the different, just as scary hats that all change depending on the infection. And we got a model viewer too, again blurring everything out for you, but you will just see a shadow, and then by spending points you can view the model and get a better look at the amazing detail that Naughty Dog has put into this game. It's fun to go back to this extra tab when you feel like it, but I just bothered after finishing the game and then already had a ton of points to buy almost everything, so that is a nice addition. But I'm more impressed by the amount of options that you really have to change the experience the way you want. When you start up the game, you can already tweak the HDR, for example, if your TV supports it, and then go to subtitles. And normally, like, you can only change the size and maybe the background, but here you can also give the different names a different color, or show an arrow where the character is that is speaking, or just change the color altogether. It's pretty nuts. And we also see many options when selecting your difficulty, namely after you finish the game you can select custom. So when first selecting a new game you have the choice out of 5 different difficulties. Very light is comparable to the story difficulty that some PS4 exclusives also have. Then light is obviously easy, moderate is normal, hard is harder, and survivor is the most challenging difficulty with very limited resources and enemies that are extremely aggressive. But again, after you finished the main story once, you can select custom, and this lets you tweak 5 different things. Changing the player mode will let you change the amount of damage you take from enemies and the amount of mid-encounter dynamic checkpoints that will be generated, so that when you die but there's just one enemy left over, you do not have to replay the whole encounter again, but just kill like maybe 2 or 3 enemies depending on the fight. When you tweak enemies, you can change their accuracy, their aggression, their complexity of their melee moves, and the movement speed for certain high threats. So how long it takes for them to reach you. And some infected can insta-kill you, so when they get close by, you will be dead in no time. And also interesting is that playing on a higher difficulty will tune specific combat encounters, so likely change the amount of enemies that you will encounter. I noted in my review that I really like the improved ally AI in this game, and you can also actually tweak that. The higher the difficulty, the less they will actually help you out. And you can set everything on one of the 5 difficulties, with survivor being the highest of course, and very light being the easiest. If you like to stealth take out enemies but want it to be easier, then you can tweak that too, so their vision is worse, or you can actually change it so their vision is way better. And my favorite setting that you can tweak are the resources. One that, if you push it to the low difficulty, will make it way easier to get full ammo and crafting materials all the time. And that is how I play the New Game Plus playthrough right now. Everything on hard, but then the resources actually on very light, so I can use my weapons at all times to take out the more challenging enemies. And good to note is that the game shows you what you cleared and on what difficulty, like what is the highest difficulty that you cleared this chapter, for example. And if you have one of the options in the custom difficulty on very light and even the rest on survivor, it will still count as very light, sadly. It is just something that is highlighted in the menu though. Trophies are not impacted by difficulty at all, so it is something to keep in mind, but in the end it doesn't really matter. So yes, New Game Plus also unlocks after you finish the main story, and what is interesting is that the moderate difficulty on New Game Plus is actually harder than the regular moderate difficulty. It's also called Moderate Plus. So even if you just want to play New Game Plus on the same difficulty as your previous playthrough, it will still be harder the second time around, meaning that if you want the hardest challenge in the game, you have to go for New Game Plus and Full Survivor. On the other hand though, you will be more powerful of course in New Game Plus thanks to all the upgrades that you get from the start. Normally you have to find magazines that open up new skill lines, and you mostly find one per mission, so then near the end you got all the skill lines. So that already makes replaying the game with them available from the start really different. You can immediately craft a silencer or special traps and have bonuses like extra health from the start, or that medkits just work better, or you get more arrows after crafting them. You can, by the way, use your maybe already upgraded bow also way earlier now in New Game Plus. Like, you do not have all your weapons right from the start, but the moment you reach Yaddle, you got all of them, and that actually still happens pretty early in the game. And that's pretty awesome, because there's one weapon in particular that you get very late, so it's very nice to now be able to use it during your whole second playthrough. And during New Game Plus, you can also get the trophies that has you get all the skills and upgrade all your weapons at a working bench. Like, I'm not even sure if that's possible in your first playthrough, because you need bolts for that and a ton of supplements as well, and I'm not even sure if you have enough in one playthrough. So that's also a tip from me, like, don't worry if you're not able to fully upgrade all your gear in your first playthrough, because that is something you have to do later in your second playthrough anyways. But yeah, it is still smart to search the area, open saves to get a ton of these bolts and supplements in your first playthrough already, so you have like the upgraded versions of your weapon very early in New Game Plus. And changing, by the way, the resources option in the custom difficulty doesn't help you get more supplements and bolts. No, that only applies to ammunition and crafting material. Before we look at another nice feature that easily lets you replay certain parts of the game, I first want to touch on the photo mode that is also present and can be used by going to the options menu and selecting it there. You can easily move the camera around, and it has some pretty standard features like a depth of field, so you can blur the background and in this case focus more on Ellie's angry face. You can switch brightness, sharpness, film grain, motion blur, select different filters, although they are more just colors that you can also like change how present they are. But you can also remove characters, allies or enemies, add vignettes and frames, although they aren't that exciting compared to other photo modes, just some black bars, although you can change the color of those black bars. You can also add a logo where you want to put it and the size. But yeah, I cannot change Ellie's angry face sadly, so you have to make sure that she looks nice when you take the shot. So apart from replaying the whole game from the beginning with New Game Plus or just a regular New Game option, you can also replay specific chapters and even missions inside those chapters. And I really like how the amount of collectibles you get per mission is highlighted, so you know in which area you still need a save or a working bench, for example. And they can just go into this save and get the working bench and then immediately quit out, and then it will be counted towards your overall progression. And I will have a video up with all the saves and working benches, so keep it locked for that, or maybe they're already up on the channel by the time you watch this, so then check the channel out if you want. You can also replay specific encounters in these missions after you completed them once. You then have the weapons you had up to that point, but you sadly cannot replay a mission on a New Game Plus save, so with all the weapons that you had when doing the encounter in the New Game Plus mode. So hopefully they add that later on, but right now when you pick an encounter, you only have the weapons that you had during your first playthrough. And then when you cleared an encounter via the encounter menu, you can choose to immediately jump to the next encounter or just quit to the main menu. And it's pretty awesome how The Last of Us Part 2 already has many features that you normally see after launch, like many PS4 exclusives this generation added a New Game Plus mode via a patch a few months after the release. Or a photo mode was sometimes not even available immediately, so it's awesome to see Naughty Dog add that replay value, while we are of course missing that multiplayer mode that the first game did include, and they might even have more in store for us with future content. And when we learn more about future updates, I will of course let you know here on the channel, so totally subscribe for everything on The Last of Us Part 2 if you haven't already, a like on this video would be super appreciated. And totally check out another Last of Us Part 2 video, and it kind of depends on when you watch this, like what video will be on the screen. Maybe it's all the weapons, or maybe it's my video where I answer many questions that I received following my review. For now though, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.